Good day, everyone. The topic of this presentation is bank mergers in the banking industry. Our group chose UCPB and LANDBANK, which had recently completed a merger and acquisition. But first, let me give you a short history of the banks involved. First, we have the United Coconut Planters Bank, or UCPB. It was a small commercial bank with only 4 branches that started in May 15, 1963. It is also the first United Bank Philippines. UCPB's origin can be found in Presidential Decree number 755 or PD number 755 by President Ferdinand Marcos on July 29, 1975. The former president instructed the Philippine Coconut Authority or PCA to formulate and recommend for adoption credit policies affecting production, marketing, and processing of coconuts and other palm oils, and to provide readily available credit facilities to the coconut farmers at a preferential rates. In 1990, UCPB along with Banco de Oro Universal Bank, Philippine National Bank, and the Bank of the Philippine Islands formed MegaLink, one of the three main interbank networks in the Philippines. However, UCPB's ATM services date back to the 1980s, when it was one of the first financial institutions to offer ATM services. In November, the last quarter of 2015, UCPB is a member of BankNet. The bank is also heavily involved in social development projects and other charity works. UCPB is one of the largest Philippine banks with 188 branches and 279 ATMs nationwide. It is also the only universal bank to have a rural banking subsidiary. In 2018, the bank started its conversion to a government bank, joining the League of LANDBANK, Development Bank of the Philippines, and Overseas Filipino Bank. And later in 2020, the Philippine government dropped the privatization plans of the bank by further raising its stake of ownership from 75% to 97%, resulting furthermore for UCPB in becoming a state-owned and controlled bank. Moving on to the Land Bank of the Philippines, or commonly known as LANDBANK, was created on August 8, 1963 by virtue of Republic Act No. 3844, known as the Agricultural Land Reform Code, mainly to finance the acquisition and distribution of agricultural estates for division and resale to small landholders, as well as the purchase of the land holding by the agricultural lease. It is fully owned by the government with an authorized capitalization of 1.5 billion. In 1973, transformed LANDBANK as the first universal bank in the Philippines with expanded commercial banking powers to support its social mission of spurring countryside development. In 1988, Republic Act No. 6657, or the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Law, established LANDBANK as the financial intermediary of the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program, which expanded coverage to include all public and private agricultural lands, including other lands of the public domain suitable for agriculture. Republic Act 7907 of 1995 established LANDBANK as the official government depository bank and increased its authorized capitalization to 9 billion, and in 1998, LANDBANK's capital further increased to 25 billion. As of May 2020, the Land Bank of the Philippines is still owned by the government of the Philippines, a specialized government bank with universal banking license that has 607 branches, 71 branches light units, 2,810 ATMs, and 58 lending centers. That is all for the brief history of the banks involved.
The Land Bank is a financial institution dedicated to providing effective technology solutions and support services to its clients. The Land Bank is committed to helping small farmers and fishers, micro, small, and medium enterprises, countryside financial institutions, local government units, and government agencies by offering accessible and timely solutions that promote sustainable development and good governance. The Land Bank is determined to create long-term beneficial relationships with its clients, providing them with the best possible service. The business strategy or strategic plan of Land Bank are socio-economic impact that promotes inclusive growth by being the catalyst of financial inclusion in the unbanked and underserved areas of the country, and optimize fund utilization for higher yield while supporting priority programs of local and national government. Second, financial. Maintain a strong capital level to support credit growth, expansion requirements of regulatory compliance, and optimize fund utilization for higher yield while supporting priority programs of local and national government. Stakeholders provide timely and accessible and responsive products and services on multiple platforms and customer touchpoints. Internal process synergize customer-facing services, work processes, and digital platforms to deliver agile and responsive bank products and services to all stakeholders and support agrarian operations through timely processing of land transfer claims. Learning and growth sustain and nurture a high performance value. Reasons for the bank merger. The merging between LANDBANK and UCPB has been instrumental in furthering the government's effort in providing assistance to the agricultural sector. This alliance puts them in a better position to extend their services to more farmers, fishers, and other agribusiness stakeholders from different parts of the country. According to LANDBANK President and CEO Cecilia C. Borromeo, this collaboration provides a more unified and reliable financial institution for the agricultural sector, enabling the government to provide more effective and efficient support to them. This merger is a major breakthrough for the agricultural sector as it provides access to more financial resources, helping them to increase their productivity and ultimately contribute to the progress of the country. With the merger, LANDBANK solidified its ranking as the second largest bank in the country in terms of assets. The merger of LANDBANK with UCPB resulted in a significant increase in its total asset to an estimated 3 trillion pesos, making it the second largest bank in the Philippines in terms of assets.
The merger between state-run Land Bank of the Philippines and United Coconut Planters Bank takes effect on March 1, 2022. But before the merge happened, acquisition process took place. The acquisition process for the merger of UCPB and Land Bank would involve several steps. First is the initial negotiations. Representatives from both UCPB and Land Bank would engage in initial discussions to explore the possibility of a merger. Second is the due diligence. If the negotiations progress, both parties would undertake a thorough examination of each other's financial, legal, and regulatory records to ensure that the merger is viable. Third would be the agreement and terms sheets. Once due diligence is completed, both parties would negotiate and sign a term sheet outlining the terms and conditions of the merger. Fourth would be regulatory approval. The merger would then need to receive approval from various regulatory bodies, including the Securities and Exchange Commission, the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, and other relevant government agencies. Next is the shareholder approval. Both UCPB and Land Bank would need to obtain approval from their respective shareholders for the merger to proceed. Sixth step would be integration planning. Following regulatory and shareholder approval, the two banks would begin to plan the integration process, which includes combining operations, products, and services. Lastly would be the closing. The final step in the acquisition process is the closing of the merger. This involves the exchange of shares, transfer of assets and liabilities, and the establishment of the new organizational structure. It is worth noting that the specific details of the acquisition process for the UCPB and Land Bank merger may differ depending on the specific terms of the deal and applicable laws and regulation.
UCPB and LANDBANK merger and acquisition advantages. So first, LANDBANK's union with UCPB advances the government's development agenda to support the agriculture sector through a stronger, more resilient, and unified banking institution, said Borromeo Cecilia, the LANDBANK President and CEO. Second, according to Borromeo, the merger places us in a better position to reach and service more farmers, fishers, and other players in the agribusiness value chain nationwide. Third, according to LANDBANK, the merger will provide a more robust support to the country's agriculture sector for inclusive rural development. Fourth, LANDBANK will be the surviving entity in the merger that shall create the Philippines' second biggest bank in terms of assets, totaling to 2.9 trillion. Fifth, more importantly, LANDBANK added that the increased financial muscle will significantly grow the bank's loan portfolio directed at servicing the whole agriculture sector alongside key development industry. And lastly, with the merger, LANDBANK and UCPB's customers can access a total of 677 branches and branch-like units, 2,800 automated teller machine, as well as 228 cash deposit machines across the nation.
The ranking of banks before and after in terms of total asset. The Land Bank as of June 30, 2021 ranks number 2 with a total asset in millions amounting to 2,513,573,000.88, while the UCPB ranks number 14 with a total asset in millions amounting to 330,655.61. While as of June 13, 2022, the Land Bank still ranks number 2 with a total asset amounting to 2,586,099,112,558.63, and the UCPB ranks number 13 with a total asset amounting to 319,293,637,081.09. The merger increased Land Bank's total asset to around 3 trillion pesos and make Land Bank the second biggest bank in the Philippines based on total assets. Land Bank's total asset will grow to close to 3.0 trillion, further solidifying its position as the country's second largest bank in terms of assets. The completion of the government-approved merger of Land Bank of the Philippines and the United Coconut Planters Bank, or the UCPB, had resulted in combined assets totaling close to 3 trillion pesos by the end of the year 2021.